So systematically we're going around filming this particular unit. We're actually doing a walk around, which is something you'll do prior to operating the equipment. So where we are at the moment is almost centre of the unit. We've got this drain tank daily. That is for the receiver that I was talking about for the pulse valves, Goyen valves. So this is the valve that you'll actuate to drain that valve. Remember, it's compressed air, so of course you won't put your face under there and open the valve. You'll stand back, have the appropriate PPE on, which is glasses, earplugs, and release that valve. Only need to release it slightly. You don't evacuate the entire valve because the noise would be quite significant. Now further down here, we have another valve system, and here's the operational handle for that particular valve system. So this is hydraulic. So we've utilised hydraulics on this unit because hydraulics is a lot more responsive and has a lot more torque in relation to moving the auger that is centred right through the entire cabinet to remove the dust and dirt and debris. So an auger will turn and wind the accumulation of material within this cabinet. So again, with augers, anything that's hydraulically driven, of course it's dangerous, so make sure you adhere to the safety instructions and requirements in relation to its operation. So in this particular one we've got reverse, which winds the auger backwards, and we've got empty, so it's actually winding, the auger's winding the material this way. So it's going forward for empty and aft for reverse. So basically what we're looking to do is empty the thing. And the valve release is set to 55 bar, do not exceed setting, as this damage may occur. So there's no need for you to alternate the pressure setting valve on the back of this valve body or valve chest. Primarily it's factory set, so every time this machine's serviced, valves like this are checked to ensure that they are appropriated to 55 bar. Do you need to touch any of this? No. All you need to do is operate this handle for forward and reverse. So you'll find that reverse is spring loaded and returns, but your operation to empty stays in that position. It enables you to turn around and ensure that's appropriating what it's designed to do. These hoses here should not be damaged. They're hydraulic hoses, so therefore they carry a high pressure. They're also done up nice and tight, so on your periodic daily check walk around, you'll make sure that there's no hydraulic oil leaking from those particular items. They are a sealed olive fitting, high pressure. There shouldn't be any leaks. In this particular cabinet door here, which is something that should be closed at all times, and it says here, caution, always use safety equipment when servicing dust collector. So basically the fines in here are very fine. So you will have a respirator on, you will be kitted out, you'll make sure that you have, and it pays to wear something like a spray hood if you're going to do anything inside this cabinet, and remember it is a confined space. So to give you an indication what's in here, this is the filter that this particular unit draws through and pulses during the course of the day. So there's a significant number of filters in here. So that's why it's important to give the filters an opportunity to work appropriately. So say for example, I didn't shut this door properly and I thought, oh, she'll be right, I'll leave her there like that, no problems. In actual fact, what's going to happen, it's going to draw through any opening that you leave, and it gives it the opportunity to suck air in, not from where you want it, but it's sucking atmosphere in instead of the appropriation of the ducting that you're putting in your encapsulation. So things like doors, you'll see that they've got rubbers around them. Why would they have that? Ultimately, we're looking for an adequate seal. So in essence, what happens is when they seal up, and we've got the rubber seal and the door kissing each other, it appropriates a vacuum, and the vacuum is throughout the entire cabinet. So if you do have to undo any of these sections, just make sure that you put the nut and washer in an appropriate place so that you can restore them as you found them prior to dismantling them. Is there any need for me to look in here? To be quite honest with you, no, there's not. The machine itself pulses these filters, keeps them clean. The only time I need to look in here is if I have an auger jam. What's an auger jam? If you do not periodically during the course of the day or the operation of this machine operate that auger to remove some of the debris that you've accumulated within the machine, the auger does not have the capacity to empty the amount of dust that might accumulate over 3 or 4 days to this height, because all it does, because it's fine dust, it consolidates, and in that consolidation there's a torque value, and the torque value is appropriated on that particular auger. So the auger has a section of fins that turn round and wind the rubbish backwards. So that's why I was saying when it's going forward, it's pulling it out this way. So if you let that fines accumulate to such a degree that it's quite weighted, the auger is trying to do a job that's almost impossible, winding something that's solid out of the unit. And that's why relative humidity comes to play. Say for example, it was raining for the week, relative humidity is high, the encapsulation is not environmentally controlled with dehumidification, you'll find that dusts will absorb moisture. Well, the same thing happens in here. So that if, for example, it's rained for the week, this will tend to sweat. So that's why we have a periodic dumping of the fines to eliminate that consolidation of grit and debris. It becomes a systematic, fundamental requirement during the course of the day. And once you start doing it systematically, you'll find that everybody's on the same page and understands that this has to be evacuated periodically during the course of the day. So if you follow that procedure, you'll find that you'll never have to open this door to say, oh, look at that, the auger's jammed. So ultimately what you're doing is you're eliminating the need to access this particular unit, because fundamentally I've followed procedure and I've done that procedure systematically.